Welcome back, everyone. We're going to get started with week 21, new grammar. We're going to start with our history. Tell me about the end of the Cold War. In the 1980s, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and American President Ronald Reagan worked together to end the Cold War, lessen big government, and strengthen the conservative movement. Okay, so our hand motions for that is going to be, in the 1980s, we're going to put up 8 fingers for 80. So in the 1980s, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, we're going to wave our hands like a queen, and American President, put your hands on your heart, Ronald Reagan, so we do sign language R 2 times. So President Ronald Reagan worked together to end the Cold War, so we'll shiver for Cold War, and lessen big government and strengthen the conservative movement. Okay, so we'll do it with the music. In the 1980s, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and American President Ronald Reagan worked together to end the Cold War, lessen big government, and strengthen the conservative movement. In the 1980s, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and American President Ronald Reagan worked together to end the Cold War, lessen big government, strengthen the conservative movement. There you go. Good. Good. All right, so now we're going to move on to our English. And for English, we are going to be learning about a conjunction. So a conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses together. So I found a jingle on CC Connected. It goes to if you're happy and you know it, okay? So it goes like this. A conjunction is a word used to connect. A conjunction is a word used to connect. To connect words or phrases or clauses together. A conjunction is a word used to connect. Let's do it again. A conjunction is a word used to connect. A conjunction is a word used to connect. To connect words or phrases or clauses together. A conjunction is a word used to connect. Very good, we got through it. All right, so now we're going to move over to our geography. And today we're going to be looking at Central America. So if we look at our map here, Central America is going to be in this area here where they zoom in for you. Okay, and the areas that we're going to be looking at today are, our first one here in the blue is called Guatemala. Okay, so Guatemala. Our next area is going to be right next to Guatemala, and that is Belize. Okay, Belize. So we have Guatemala, Belize. Next to Guatemala, more to the south of it, in the orange here, that's El Salvador. Okay, El Salvador. And next to El Salvador in the green area here is called Honduras. And then right next to Honduras, a little bit south from Honduras, is Nicaragua. All right, so we have Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, Honduras, and Nicaragua. All right, so that's Central America. All right, now we're going to move on to our math. Unfortunately, I don't have a jingle for math today. I had a hard time trying to come up with something, but we're just going to go through it. So the associative law for addition states, open parentheses, A plus B, close parentheses, plus C equals A plus, open parentheses, B plus C, close parentheses. And then the associative law for multiplication states, open parentheses, A times B, close parentheses, times C equals A times, open parentheses, B times C, close parentheses. All right, now we'll move on to our Latin, and we're going to be using our jingle from CC for Latin. And it goes like this. Eram, eras, erat, aramis, eratis, erant. First conjugations, pluperfect tense. We'll do it again. Eram, eras, erat, aramis, eratis, erant. First conjugations, pluperfect tense. Very good. Now we're going to go to our science fact for today. And we've been learning about the laws of thermodynamics, and today we're going to talk about the third law. So what is the third law of thermodynamics? The third law of thermodynamics explains that it is impossible to reach the state of absolute zero temperature. All right, and the motions that we have for that are like so. The third law of thermodynamics explains that it is impossible to reach the state of absolute zero in temperature. All right, so what is the third law of thermodynamics? The third law of thermodynamics explains that it is impossible to reach the state of absolute zero temperature. All right, very good. Now we are going to close out New Grammar with our timeline. So come over here and we'll play our timeline song for you.
World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Stalin of the USSR and the Katyn massacre, the United Nations formed